When I walked to that ring that first time, I felt this kind of awakening, like I was being called for my purpose. And the more competitive and the more high stakes my competitions get, I feel that sense even more so. Not only does it make me feel that, but it's taught me so much which I can extrapolate into different parts of my life. Discipline into schoolwork, into diet, into mentality. I boxed in the national development semi-finals after I won in the quarters. I got knocked out in the second round. And for me, that was heartbreaking. And that fueled me, and that gave me a level of determination that I'd never felt before. I had this fire in my belly where I thought I never want to feel that again. But my dad always told me that I needed to have a thing. He didn't care what the thing was. He didn't care whether it was ping pong, badminton, academics, whether I started powerlifting or Olympic weightlifting. I just needed to have a thing. And when he brought me to the boxing gym and I could focus on this one thing, which I chose to be boxing, maybe 3 months after I begun, it taught me a sense of discipline that no other sport had taught me before. And I was told that I was getting in the ring with someone about my age, about my size. So I expected, oh, okay, I'm 13 years old, I'm quite large, so I'll maybe go against the 15-year-old. Anyway, I get in the ring, I look at the other side of the ring. There's a 26-year-old man with a beard looking me in the eyes. So as entertaining as it was, and as nice as it was to kind of jump straight into the deep end, I realised white collar, as good as it is, as many good people I can meet, there's a much safer path in England boxing. And the reason being, as to why the junior title was so important, is because it taught me that I can. Full stop. I can boxing, I can do whatever I put my mind to, whether it would be academics at school. I realised if I work hard enough, I can get the grades that I want. And kind of that realisation that my hard work is finally coming into fruition gave me so much confidence in almost every aspect of life. That it was a 94th minute winner. I was on the development squad. I boxed in the Four Nations Championships. I put on a hell of a performance. And I'm very, very grateful that England performance coaches noticed that. And they moved me up onto the performance bracket, the international circuit. I think it was 5 days before the selections. So had it not been for that performance, I wouldn't have been in the position I am now. So it meant the world to me that those 2 performances, all that hard work I put in, led to a week later being told I've been selected, getting a medal, but more specifically a gold medal. Gives me a spot in the World Championships, which I believe are in Budva, Montenegro, in October. But more importantly than that, it's a place for me to showcase what I've learned, how hard I've worked, and also another checkpoint for me to realise that I can. You know, I watched the European final from last year, and from a quick glance, I've looked at it and I've told myself, these guys aren't me. I kind of manipulate myself into being overly delusional, and I can see in my last 4 fights it's clearly working. I mean, my father and my mother, they've been both so instrumental in my success. My dad taking me to every session, my mum cooking for me late at night when I come back from those sessions, both motivating me to do those early morning air bike sessions, which are killer and no one wants to do. They both pushed me on, supported me after every loss, after every win, after every late night cry session in the pillow after sparring. They've been there and they've told me, you can. And that was reinforced by my success in March 2025. And I realised all of their hard work was just as important as mine, because I can. And they've told me that since I was very young. So I think it's very important that I keep up my academic side of things, and I'm very clever and I go to university, so that should boxing not work out, God willing it will, I can fall back on something, whether it be sports psychology, which I'm hoping to go into, or something else where I can still earn a good living. I think boxing works as a perfect outlet for a lot of people in their lives. I mean, sooner or later someone's going to start on you in the street or in a pub, or they're going to be drunk, and if you have this kind of pent-up aggression that you need to let out on someone, that's not good. So to have a place like a boxing gym where you can let it out in a controlled manner, or let it out on a punching bag, forget about winning, letting out the aggression by itself is also very important. But going back to what I said, you can is something that I think the kids need to learn who are going into a boxing gym.